Episode 161. It's now been over 100 episodes since I completed a Realm Reborn space game, defeated the Ultima weapon in episode 60. Within those 100 episodes, I could have been well a ways into Heaven's Ward by now, maybe even beaten that, if it only took like 60 episodes to beat Heaven's Ward by the same estimate. Of course, all the time to actually do the post-patch quest for A Realm Reborn also took up some time, but it's not like I spent these 100 episodes doing nothing related to the story. It's just, I feel like those only make up no more than 20 to 30 episodes in terms of real plot. Other things were just, I guess, screwing around. Some of the raids were needed, but other raids weren't. A lot of the hard mode dungeons also not needed. Certainly not the Allied Society quests, didn't need those. And certainly not the Moogle side quests. But here I am, still doing them. That'll change this episode, because it'll be the last time we do any quests for the Deputy Post Moogle. They don't update them after, or they stopped updating them after this one. Or rather, not this quest here, but the quest after this quest. We'll finish up in this episode, so it'll be the finale here. And I'm banking on a sweet, sweet promotion for Komoi. Not exactly sure what kind of promotion, if we're going to outrank the Deputy Post Moogle. I'm certainly hoping we will. Because there are no more quests after this, so there's no more chance to climb the ladder. I'd hate it if we finished off just still being this guy's little lackey. First we have to do a quest for this guy though, who I don't remember. He was probably from somewhere, or he was from a fate. We'll see, I guess. Ah, Komoi, you've come not a moment too soon, Kupo. I have a letter addressed to Landonel, over in Camp Tranquil, that wants for immediate delivery. I hope he isn't inclined to send a reply, though, because there's no return address to be seen. But one task at a time, Kupo. First of all, we, and by that I mean you, must see the letter safely into Landonel's hands. I must warn you, though, rumor has it the good captain of the Sixth Spear has been acting strange of late. Perhaps this letter has something to do with it. At any rate, best not to keep him waiting. Now off you go, Kupo. We may not know who wrote the message, but so long as there is a recipient, the delivery must be made. Be it joyous news or grave, the good captain will surely want to know of it, Kupo. Damn, this whole time I've been missing the flavor dialogue from the Deputy Post Moogle. It should have been obvious that the quest giver might have more to say. I mean, it's just a little bit of extra dialogue, not really anything to worry about losing out on, but I guess because the Post Moogle always has like a stack of quests for you, or quite often does, I didn't think to go for the extra dialogue because clicking on them while they have an extra quest means you don't get the extra dialogue. I'm actually not sure how to like circumvent their quest giving dialogue so that you get the flavor dialogue for the quest that you just accepted. Maybe the only way to do that is to actually accept both quests and then you can choose, like in the menu when you talk to them, which quest to talk about, as you sometimes get from some NPCs. It doesn't matter. I think these are in New Game Plus, so if I really cared, I could just go back to that. And replay all of them to get the flavor dialogue. I'm not going to do that. But knowing that they're not something that I have to miss out on, that at least, I guess, eases the pain a bit. Don't we know this guy? I feel like we've done a quest here. When would we have done a quest here? Wouldn't have been for the Lost City of Amdapor. That was like a side quest after the main story. I know we fought like a Morble here somewhere. I don't know if that was like a story quest or a side quest or what. Didn't we come here for... Yeah, we came here for... Titan, right? That's right. Right, this guy is the Company of Heroes. Yeah, I remember most of the Company of Heroes, of course. There's a guy that's always standing around, the kind of the face of the Company of Heroes, I guess. Sort of. He stands right here in Costa del Sol. He's like the bodyguard for Gegarutu. Always standing like right here, or so. And then there's, of course, Brave Fox. She's unforgettable. There's that guy whose name escapes me, who just kind of is surrounded by women over here in the Forgotten Springs. Then there's also... Well, of course, we can't forget Ryle. He's with us in both the... Well, I guess he's not part of the Scions. He's mainly a Crystal Brave. Kind of overlapping that. And then there was this guy, right? I actually forgot about this guy. I didn't realize I forgot about him. I guess he's part of it. What exactly was his deal? I guess he's just like there to fill out the ranks. That's rude to say. Actually, I guess that's why they gave him a little Moogle, post-Moogle side quest here, right? Because the other ones, I guess, are maybe more memorable and this guy isn't. I guess that's not necessarily true, that's just my own perspective, but that just means that I'm glad he's getting a chance to shine. A chance to become my favorite member of the Company of Heroes. I guess currently the rankings are... Well, it's tough between Brave Fox and Ryle at the top, so those two are fighting it up there. Then next would be, I guess, the guy standing over in Costa del Sol. He's just kind of iconic for standing right at the very entrance, at a place that I visit often. And then at the bottom are Landonel and the other guy whose name I forget. I guess since I'm looking at Landonel right now, he's winning out by just letting me remember his name, but this guy is surrounded by women, so hopefully Landonel, whatever story you have here, outranks that. Well, if it isn't Komoy, it has been too long. Still gallivanting about on endless adventures, I shouldn't doubt. Ah, what I wouldn't give to be doing the same. But enough about my suppressed desires. What brings you here? Whether deliberately or not, the sender of this missive failed to mark the envelope with a return address. Ah, right. A letter? Well, what have we here? This cannot be. It's an invitation from Westgate to a memorial service for the commander of the Company of Heroes. Okay, so this is going to be about all of the Company of Heroes, so I guess it's not exactly his chance to stand alone in the spotlight. Although the quest did picture him alone, so maybe he will be in the spotlight, it'll just feature the rest of the company. We'll see. The commander went missing some 5 years ago, shortly before the calamity. As if in anticipation of his disappearance, he disbanded the company and sent us all our separate ways. It was also sudden. We knew not what to make of it at the time. Some believed he feared for the lives that would be lost at the hands of primals. Others believed he was convinced the calamity would mean our end, and dismissed us that we might enjoy what little time remained. His final request was that, wherever life should lead us next, we live up to the words of our company creed. The duty of the strong is to protect the weak. So yeah, the Company of Heroes, they took on primals, primarily Titan, I guess. That's what they're famous for. But are they not blessed with the Echo? I never really understood what anybody without the Echo could even hope to do against a primal, without the risk of getting tempered. I mean, I guess that risk is there, but it just doesn't seem like they'd even stand a chance. In my mind, getting tempered happens instantly, with the wave of a hand from a primal. Although we haven't really seen the exact mechanic, have we? At least not yet. One thing comes to mind for the future, but maybe that's just that one primal. Whatever. In any case, Landonel has taken on primals, so I guess it's possible. To that end, I returned here to Gridania and joined the Wood Whalers. I've done my best to honor that promise. But if truth be told, I was never truly happy at my post. Often did I dream of fighting at my commander's side once more. And so I've decided to resign from the Wood Whalers. Indeed, I have already made my decision known to my superior, and but await an official discharge. Once released from my post, I had intended to search for the commander with Waistcoat, with whom I had been in contact about my plans. But now this letter arrives with talk of a memorial service. I simply cannot believe it. There was no one stronger, more resourceful. What is more, Waistcoat himself agreed to help me find the commander. Why would he do this if he knew that man had died? Whatever the hell is going on, I will get to the bottom of it. I will go to Waistcoat and demand an explanation, and depending on what he says, former comrade or no, I may well spit the bastard on my lance. You'd best be on hand when I talk to him, adventurer, lest I do something I may regret. I shall make my way to Costa del Sol as soon as the matter of my resignation is settled. Pray join me there. I shan't approach Waistcoat until you have arrived. Is this guy actually going to stop standing here? I assume he always stands here like most NPCs, just like Waistcoat does over at Costa del Sol. If he retires, does that mean he's free from his permanent NPC residence, this one spot? It should not be much longer before the matter of my resignation is resolved. I shall join you at Costa del Sol as soon as my business is finished here. No flavor. Par for the course is no flavor, but sometimes there's flavor. And here he is, right here. Iconic Waistcoat, standing at the entrance, or pretty much the entrance, to Costa del Sol. This is like Waistcoat's little circle. There's nothing here except Waistcoat and some trees. I think that circle over there was used for the Hildebrand questline, so that's sort of their circle. That one over there is the Flying Shark. I remember the name of that little bar or restaurant, I guess. And over there, I think, are where the dancers gather. Yeah, and some guy's trying to pick up some woman. I'm pretty sure she's also a dancer, this one here. But this one here, I think she was used in the Hildebrand quest. Or somewhere else. Anyway, Waistcoat and Landonell. Good to see you again, Komoy. Landonell arrived but a moment ago, and in a right foul mood. Said he has some business to discuss and insisted on waiting for your arrival. Good, you're finally here. Now we can get down to business. You agreed to help me search for the commander, but then you send me this invitation. What is the meaning of this? Captain Waistcoat of the Company of Heroes requests the honor of your presence at the memorial service for... Is this some crude joke? I'm sorry, Landonell, but I've heard no news of the commander, let alone his passing, and I certainly have no plans of holding a service for him. I'm as baffled as you are by the letter. I should like to know who penned it. I see. I'm relieved to hear that you had no part in this absurdity. A great many mysteries yet remain, to be sure, but so long as we can find the commander, I shan't bestir myself over them. I trust I can rely on your aid still, old friend. With the commander back at the helm, the Company of Heroes shall be reunited once more, and good riddance to my tedious life as a wood whaler. I believe I have an inkling as to the sender's identity and intent. Knowing this, I cannot in good conscience help you in your search. I'm sorry, my friend. What? This is not what we agreed upon. The letter, the memorial service. What do they matter if we know them to be false? You said you'd help me. You can't simply go back on your word, gods damn you. Oh, what? I guess we talk to him again? Oh, we sue them. One of those quest steps. He always did have a quick temper. I'm sorry to impose, my friend, but could I ask you to try and soothe him? Right now, I'm the last person in the world to whom you will listen. Is this soothing to you? Waistcoat, you bastard! Hells take you and your thrice damn lies. I guess not. Maybe we'll actually try soothing him. I know full well, skewing Waistcoat won't get me any closer to finding the commander, but... Look, Landonell, I understand your desire to find the commander. However, I must remind you of your promise to him. You'll never live up to your word chasing after shadows of the past. My promise does not preclude me from searching for the commander. If you will not help me, I will simply find someone who will. It's as though he's reverted to his old savage self. I suppose I shouldn't be surprised. The commander was as a father to him. Truth be told, Landonell's real father was a criminal, or so the story goes. Sad, really. He was just a child, and yet the townsfolk assumed the worst of him. Bore the sins of his father, you could say. His poor mother reached the end of her tether, and at least that's what they said when they found her hanging from the rafters. Landonell was not completely alone, though. He became fast friends with Uwain, now master of the Lancers Guild in Verdonia. They were nigh inseparable back then, but the townsfolk's disdain for Landonell did not cease, and he feared their ire would soon turn towards Uwain. Rather than risk the well-being of his dear friend, Landonell abandoned what little remained of his world. Landonell was convinced that the world hated him, and he returned the feeling in kind. He'd become a monster, that is, until he met the commander, and was taken in by the company. I dare not think what would have happened had they never crossed paths. It was not an easy feat to be sure, but the commander helped Landonell set aside that anger that had taken control of his life. It was Landonell's love and respect for the commander that brought him peace. But that self-same love may cost him everything he has achieved. The man who wrote that letter suspected as much, and used this ruse of a memorial service to bring Landonell to me. I fear he's not like to understand why that letter was sent to him. I realize you were only entrusted with a simple delivery, but it would mean a lot to me if you would keep an eye on him. If he seems to be losing his way, please give him a gentle reminder of our company motto. Knowing him, he will next go to Wineport. Whenever he was in trouble, he would always seek out Shamani for advice. Godspeed, friend. Make sure he doesn't hurt himself, or anyone else for that matter. But what's the motto? Odds are Landonell will seek Shamani's counsel. If you go to Wineport, Landonell is bound to show up before long. Okay. I guess we don't get to know the model, we'll just remind him about the existence of the model or something. It's actually good to get not just backstory on Landonell, but that was one of our only interactions between two members of the Company of Heroes, like seeing their relationship. I didn't really get the sense from the main story that Landonell was a hot-blooded guy and that Waistcoat was the guy that would, I guess, calm him down. I guess as the pseudo-leader, the de facto second-in-command, that's what I imagine Waistcoat as. That's kind of what falls upon his shoulders, but it was nice to see that play out, and not only that, but also mention of the inner workings of the company's, like, politics, how they work together with each other. I guess at least just the leader and Landonell mainly. Maybe we'll get more. This might just be all about Landonell. I'm hoping to, I don't know, see some more interactions with the company. Maybe even Ryle might get a special appearance. That might be hoping for too much. He's kind of embroiled in the main story, isn't he? I see. So you were the one who delivered the invitation. I simply do not understand Shamani. How could Waistcoat put aside our search like that? Does he no longer care for the commander? No longer care? I must disagree. Choosing not to search for the commander and not caring for him are two rather different things. Then what of this so-called memorial service? Wastegate seemed willing enough to help me, but then he read the letter. Whoever sent the accursed thing wants us to give up the search. Wait, was Shamani a part of the company? I forgot. Did he become blind with the company, or like during his adventures with the company? I don't recall. At least I don't recall him in the lineup when we had like the feast before fighting Titan. Guess I'll look back on my old episode or something, but he's just kind of here, so I guess he's involved with the company. I suspect your meeting with Wastegate is what the sender had intended. Like as not, your coming here was also anticipated. From everything you've told me, it is clear the man who penned that letter cares a great deal about you, and understands you quite well to know you would come to us. Who in the seven hells would be worried about the likes of me? Wastegate said he suspected who delivered the missive, but I haven't the faintest idea. It saddens me to hear you say that. We may have gone our separate ways, but in our hearts, we are all still of us brothers. Okay, so he was part of the company. I did forget about Shamani, so that means I have to actually insert him in the rankings. Now, because I forgot about him, that might mean he goes pretty low, but I remember Shamani pretty well. It's just that I forgot he was in the company. So it's just a bonus on top of what I already know about Shamani. That means he gets also the bonus of being in the company, that extra lore, which means he solidifies as actually maybe standing above Wastegate even, just because he's kind of a cool looking guy. So yeah, ranking number 3 so far. Why, that could only be the commander. Precisely, and it was out of the desire to see you move forward that he sent this letter to you. Contrary to what it seems, the commander is alive and well, and even now he watches over you. That, I believe, was the message he wished to convey. I tire of these games. If he's still alive as you say, where in the seven hells is he? We're supposed to tell him the motto, and actually we were told this motto somewhere in that conversation, but I myself forgot that they mentioned this whole, the duty of the strong is to protect the weak thing, so yeah, completely forgot, so Komori by extension also forgot. You remember our company words, I do not doubt, but do you remember the first time you learned them? But of course, they were practically the first words out of the commander's mouth when I met him. To this day, I remember that moment vividly. We were standing atop the point overlooking Costa del Sol. If the commander had meant to verify whether I sought out Wastegate after receiving his letter, that is where he would have been. The odds are slim, I'll admit, but it's the best chance I have of finding him. I must make haste. I wasn't quite finished, if truth be told, but I suppose it cannot be helped. The commander meant that much to him. From wielding a spear to living an honorable life, Landonel learned all he knows from the commander. Naught gave Landonel greater joy than to meet the commander's expectations, and he went on to distinguish himself among our ranks. After disbanding the company, I believe that the commander continued to watch over Landonel, and upon sensing his growing discontent, he decided to take action and sent a letter. The road has been bumpy, but Landonel has finally arrived at the truce. But the final leg of his journey remains, and I should be grateful if you were to accompany him. The point he mentioned rises just south of Costa del Sol. I cannot say whether he'll find what he seeks, but I have no doubt that he will find what he needs. Alright, that one was flavor. We'll walk up there. Why not? By walk I mean ride. Not fly, just ride. Maybe I shouldn't actually do this though, because my track record recently with all of these Moogle post side quests, I've always been going over on time, and I probably wouldn't have on some of them if I actually flew directly from point A to point B. Well, it's fine. We're taking the scenic route. That's what this is all about. Gomoy, I might have known you would come as well. Behold, my friend, this spear belongs to the commander. Alas, the man himself is nowhere to be seen. Why? Why does he refuse to meet me? Because you are not ready, and by now you ought to know the reason why. It took me long enough, but I think I'm beginning to understand now. As he would always tell us, the duty of the strong is to protect the weak. He wanted us to venture out into the realm and live up to those words, each in his own way. Like you, Waistcoat. You were a mercenary of unquestionable renown. The world was yours for the taking. Yet you chose to stand as the humble protector of Costa del Sol and all who call her home. Nice. Also, a little bit by extension here. Some backstory on Waistcoat. I guess we could also assume he was himself a pretty hot-headed guy. If he was like a mercenary that could have taken the entire world or whatever. Probably not true, but at least it paints a picture for the character. Shamani had a hand in revitalizing the Bacchus wine industry, and Bosuod and Brayflox have become leaders among their people. We serve the realm better as individuals than as a single entity. That is why the commander disbanded our company. Wait, why didn't he mention Ryle? Was he not part of the company? I'm pretty sure he was. No, he definitely was. Yeah. He just didn't mention Ryle because he's jealous. He's jealous that Ryle is number 1. I've decided that Ryle actually outranks Brayflox in my ranking. Though I never forgot our words, I did not understand them fully until now. Instead of doing my best as a wood whaler, I had my head in the clouds, dreaming of a return to the glory days of old. We did much good for the realm, and had the time of our lives in the process. But it was past time for us to pass the torch. And the torch, you must agree, has been taken up by a most worthy individual. Who, me? He must be me. No, he must mean Kryle. Or, not Kryle. That's later. I meant Ryle. He's talking about Ryle. The realm has no further need of the company of heroes. The commander believes thus, and I agree with his assessment. That is why I chose not to search for him. And neither shall I anymore. As you said, Waistcoat, I am not ready, or worthy to face the commander. Oh, what a fool I've been all these years. There's so much to be done if I'm to make up for lost time. Commander, if you are watching, you need worry about me no longer. I will live up to your words and do you proud. This I swear. Your journeys take you far and wide, I believe. Should you happen to cross paths with the commander, please see to it that he knows my mind. I was wondering this whole quest. I didn't know who this commander was. We never met him in the main story, and we certainly didn't meet him here. Did we ever meet the commander after this? I can't say that we do in the main story. Not really a spoiler there. And these Moogle quests don't continue, so I can't say we ever meet this guy. He might just be a loose end forever. The mysterious commander of the company of heroes. I guess they could always go back to it sometime. I don't know. Not sure how they do it. An event, maybe? Probably not. I guess if they ever continue the Moogle quests... Nah, they probably wouldn't, because This was using only the Realm Reborn NPCs. If they continue the Moogle quests, they would certainly use the NPCs from all of the future expansions. Lots of different characters to pick out from there that you'd want to hang out with. But this is it. The last Moogle quest. I knew this would be the reward, which is why I colored my jacket a slightly different shade of blue some episodes ago. The little post-Moogle that could. Well, if it isn't my favorite whipping girl, or my most promising pupil, you couldn't have picked a better time to pay a visit, Kupo. 2 of my post-Moogles in training are set to embark on their first assignment. While they have completed a thorough training session administered by yours truly, the sensitive and sympathetic superior, that's me, is ever concerned for his subordinate's safety. I have here in my paws a veritable compendium of choice counsel for the aspiring post-Moogle. Your task is to deliver it to Raya O. Senna, in whose custody my subordinates have been placed, at Camp Tranquil. Consider it the next stage in your own training, Kupo. I guess we can also pay a visit to Landonel and get his post-quest dialogue. I almost forgot about that. Actually, he's giving them a concise 10-page portfolio of post-Moogle trivia, kind of like a manual for the job. Why didn't we get one? Oh, well, maybe he knew that Komoy doesn't exactly mesh well with reading, so probably better that he didn't give us anything. Why are you still dallying about when your fellow initiates are in need of your aid? Deliver my sage advice to Raya O. Senna at Camp Tranquil, that she might see my post-Moogles in training off to a smooth start on their first assignment. Well, we're not exactly the same rank as those guys. They're not exactly fellow initiates. We're level 24. These guys are probably level 1 or 2. I was hoping we would, I don't know, become at least a deputy post-Moogle ourselves, equal in rank to that guy. Based on the way he's talking, I'm not too hopeful for it. We'll see. Whatever is keeping that deputy post-Moogle, he promised he'd drop by to offer some parting words of advice to his newest recruits. But he's taken so long that they've already fluttered off. You have something for me? I don't. Because I forgot to talk to Landonel. Before I forget. Oh, he's gone triple triad, huh? We're not here for that. Come to check on me, have you? Well, you may rest assured that I have found new purpose at this humble post. I have no intention of abandoning it again. All that I have learned from my commander I shall employ in service to the Wood Whalers and Gridania at large. 'Tis the least I can do to repay him for all he has done for me. What card does he offer anyway? Wait, what? Oh. We don't have Odin, but usually I expect a question mark when there's a card we haven't collected. But I see. They're just telling me he gives you Odin. Okay. Maybe later. At least that's a good place to know, or good to know a place to get a powerful card. Alright, now you can have your letter. Be wary of low-hanging branches, and remember to keep a wide berth of any gob you mons. I say, could this choice counsel be any more blindingly obvious? That said, I cannot fault the deputy post-Moogle for showing concern for his subordinates. After all, 'twas his own injury that pressed the 2 Tyros into active service so far ahead of schedule. What's a Tyro? Sadly, I fear that it will be some time before his wings are fit for duty. Our rune believes he has insight as to how a suitable remedy might be formulated, but the process will require the services of a first-rate alchemist. You know, I'm something of an alchemist myself. But I guess we're on vacation, so she's probably not talking about us. Meanwhile, I have two wet behind the ear Moogles, wandering aimlessly across the realm. I would like nothing more than to see them succeed at their charge, that they might inspire a new generation of aspiring post-Moogles. Yet I have my doubts that they will do so. If left to their own devices. I would have accompanied them myself, but I fear my duties as a seed seer leave me a little time to play chaperone. Might you be willing to see them safely to their destination in my stead? The first Moogle ran off in the direction of Quarrymill. Though he does not want for enthusiasm, he is easily frightened by unfamiliar sights and sounds. Should you find him in such a state, pray rally his strengths and let him know that we stand behind him. And a copy-paste, not even a rephrase. Of course, Raya O can't do anything. She has to stand right there, just like Landonel has to stand right where he is. Even if he says he's going to retire, by the end of the quest he's not going to retire, because NPCs like that are contracted by law, for whatever reason, to always be in one specific place. More important NPCs get to move around, like the Scions, but not those guys. I actually learned, this one starts the quest, the Chain of Fates, that leads you to taking on the Curl Claws, and then the Curl Claw King. I haven't forgotten about that guy, and we're not going to do it right now, but I just don't like that guy walking around. Although I guess the woman that claimed his blood, claimed his life for her own, was the sister to the woman in that guy's clutches from the previous Moogle quest. Maybe we'll let her get the kill, by which I mean we can't get the kill ourselves. The guy will always come back for the fate. Up here? Inside? You can't go inside these houses. I must have missed him somehow. Here he is. Is this rallying to you? I say, this sack must weigh a tons. No, I can't do it. I can't fly another elm. Oh, woe is me, Kupo. Is there not a single kind soul in this realm who will rally this poor Moogle's sunken spirits? I like this little tired animation on the Moogle. Really emphasizes how heavy that sack is. Rally. Oh, there it is. That's your rally? Why, thank you. I dare say you've given me the strength to carry on a bit. Wait a moment. I know you. You're the loyal delivery, Lalafell. The deputy post-Moogle is always talking about Kupo. Lalafell. Don't know why. Almost had big trouble pronouncing that. Lalafell. I say it all the time, but maybe trying to do it in a slightly different voice made it harder. It doesn't matter. You came all this way to watch over me. I thank you truly deeply, from the bottom of my little Moogle heart. You are truly a shining example to delivery Moogles everywhere. Oh, to think that one day I might be a full-fledged carrier like you, and the deputy post-Moogle. Why, it would be a dream come true. I guess we did get that one kind of rank up during the middle at rank 12 or something, rank 13. But how can I hope to reach such heights by staying here fluttering in circles? No, I must deliver this letter safely to Buscarone, just as the deputy post-Moogle instructed me. And let me state for the record, that no matter what Raya O might have told you, I am not intimidated by this task, not in the slightest. Well, off I go, Kupo. And how far did he get? Just about halfway there. A little over halfway. This is not the path there. Is this cheering for you? I'm not scared, Kupo. It's just that I've never been this far from home, you see. And what if Buscarone doesn't like Moogles? Friend, might you be able to offer any words of cheer? Okay. Actually try cheering, Komoy. You should know by now. Wait, I have it on the hotbar. If I remember where it is. Yes, that is exactly what I needed to hear. You're exactly right. Why, I can do anything I put my palm to, Kupo. Perhaps you were wondering why one as fearful and faltering as myself doesn't just leave the stressful life of a carrier behind. But you see, what I truly wish to leave behind is my own miserable lack of courage. I remember the day like it was yesterday. My dear brother lay wounded, struck in the wing by a particularly savage stroper, and yet I could do nothing but quake and quiver behind him. It was the deputy post-Moogle who, much to our fortune, was in the vicinity on a delivery assignment, who carried my brother to Camp Tranquil, where Arun tended to his injuries. Today it is our turn. We shall do our duty, and help the post-Moogle in his time of need, just as he did for us. And after all you have done for me, it would mean ever so much if you would drop by to witness the moment. I will await you at Buscarone Struthers, Kupo. Some more lore on the deputy post-Moogle. I would have expected it. But actually, I guess that kind of gives some insight. He actually practices what he preaches. The whole thing of not just delivering the letter, but fully helping out the people there to full satisfaction. That's what he did when he helped out this Moogle, I guess. I've made it. Aren't you proud of me, Kupo? Now behold, as I deliver this letter straight from my paws to Buscarone's, while remaining stealthily out of sight, just as the deputy post-Moogle showed me. Yeah, I guess they're invisible to Buscarone and other people, just not me. Bloody hells, if it isn't a Moogle in the flesh. Talk about something you don't see every day. Okay, I guess he's not invisible. I don't exactly know how the invisibility works. Maybe they're not invisible, maybe they're just kind of furtive, except when they're not. Oh no, Kupo. In my eagerness I've gone and blown my cover. The deputy post-Moogle will never let me hear the end of it. So you Moogles like to stay out of sight when you make deliveries, eh? No wonder letters have a habit of appearing out of thin air. Sounds like a right thankless job, but you have my gratitude today. Did you hear that? Mr. Buscarone gave me his gratitude. Why, this just might be the happiest day of my life, Kupo. Since you've proven yourself the capable sort, mayhap you could do me a favor. I have a letter here, marked for Badarin and Nimsa Laminsa, that somehow found its way here to the Druthers. Oh, dear me. This is doubtless the work of my confident yet careless brother. The two of us, you see, have taken over deliveries in the South Shroud, while the deputy post-Moogle rests his wounded wings. Oh, pray forgive us our failings, Kupo. His brother being the one that got wounded the other time? Yeah. I guess he got better. New to the job, eh? You needn't go flogging yourselves now. Badarin and I, well, our names and professions do bear more than a passing resemblance, after all. Oh yeah, Badarin, Buscarone, kind of. Besides, I dare say that having the chance to meet my first Moogle is worth an errant letter or two. That said, it troubles me to hear that this associate of yours, this deputy post-Moogle was it, has come to harm. Might there be anything I could do to lend a hand? Well, we'll say the alchemist because we could do it ourselves, but We're on vacation, so yeah, we need an alchemist. I see. You just leave that to me, friend. If memory serves, one of my regulars is something of an expert in such matters. As for Batteran's letter, have no fear. My brother and I will atone for our errors, and see it delivered to the right hands. That said, for all of my brother's bravado, I suspect that deep down he, too, feels a measure of anxiety about his first foray outside the Shroud. Might you be so kind as to escort him as you did me? It would mean the realm to me, Kupo. We agreed to meet at the Gridania airship landing. I will pass this letter along to him, and wait for you to join us. Anything else to say, Buscarone? I didn't have the heart to tell that poor Moogle. But that's the 5th letter for Batteran to come to the Druthers just this week. I'll see what I can do to track down some help. This Deputy Post Moogle can't get back on the job soon enough, if you ask me. Alright, it was flavor that time. 5 incorrectly delivered letters, painting a wider picture for the failings of the Postal Service. This Moogle's name, by the way. What is this word? That's 2 words today. Tyros, whatever that means. And Pusillanimous. What does that mean? Like fearful? Probably not his defining character trait. Pusillanimous. And presumptuous. That one is easier. Oh, there you are. And not a moment too soon. I had my paws full convincing my brother to delay his departure, Kupo. So you're the Deputy Post Moogle's prize pupil, eh? Didn't he teach you anything about punctuality, Kupo? I don't know what my little brother told you, but I've trained my whole life for this. This might be my first time out of the Shroud, but if anyone's up to the task, it's me, Kupo. Oh, please, brother. If you got yourself hurt again, I simply couldn't live with myself. Pray let this adventurer accompany you, just for safety's sake, Kupo. Never the worry, Ward. Look, just because you can't fly more than 2 foams without getting the quivers, it doesn't mean that your brother is in need of a chaperone. That's what you said last time, when you almost got yourself swallowed by that slavering stroper. Why, if the Deputy Post Moogle hadn't wandered by at that precise moment. That was then. This is now, Kupo. I put on 2 ponzers of pure muscle, and pored over every map of Eorzea to prepare myself for this task. The last thing I need is some glorified sellsword holding my paw. Careful now. I might be a level 56 Black Mage or whatever, but I'm also a level 24 Post Moogle. Now enough chit-chat. I have an airship to board. If you want to see how a real delivery Moogle does his duty, feel free to tag along. Or don't. It's your loss, not mine, Kupo. But pray forgive my brother, Kupo. You may find it hard to fathom, but there truly is a warm, fuzzy heart under that brusque exterior. You will see that no harm befalls him, won't you? And we'll take the airship. With the cutscene. Because it was actually part of the quest to actually ride the airship. So we won't skip it. I wonder if I've watched this cutscene more times on camera than I've skipped it. I probably did, didn't I? Because I usually just teleport everywhere. If I'm in a rush to skip it enough, then I'm in a rush enough to teleport. And here he is. So this is Limsa Laminsa. Everything here is so big and boisterous, and the smell of the sea is sending needles up my nose. Nervous? Me? Patently preposterous, Kupo. I was born for this assignment. Did you not notice the aplomb with which I handled my maiden airship voyage? Upo? But no. A Buccaneer's den like this is no place for the ordinary Moogle. With the Deputy Post Moogle out of commission, the people of Limsa are lucky indeed that I'm here to shoulder the slack. Speaking of which, I believe I have a letter to deliver. If you care to learn a thing or two, come join me at the Drowning Wench, but you'll want to move fast. I'm a busy Moogle, Kupo. Quite the character on this guy. I actually kind of like it. Big attitude. Small body. You can relate, can't you, Komori? What's going on here? A standoff, huh? Is it for Ayame? Somehow I don't think it is. Now he is the last I never tire of seeing. Have a seat, Komori, and tell old Batterin what he can do for you today. A tale from your past? I could tell you a tale or two, but not today. Come back when you've lived as long as me. If you're still kicking around, then that is. Alright? Confirmed. The Warrior of Light is not as old as Batterin. However old Batterin is, it's hard to tell, I guess. I think I mentioned before, you can't really modify the age of your character all that much. I guess you could do some tricks to make them look older or younger. But the Warrior of Light pretty much kind of has a set age. The characters don't really treat you one age or the other, but they kind of treat you as a blanket, well, as an adult, a young adult or something. You could be older than a young adult, probably not much younger than a young adult. No one really treats you like an up-and-coming star, at least. They kind of do that at the beginning of A Realm Reborn, but maybe that's what you start out as. Just a young adult or slightly younger than young adult, and from there, it's debatable, but several years pass, I think. It doesn't matter. What took you so long? Take a wrong turn at the Octant? Sorry, I was waxing poetic about the passage of time in this game. Good thing I'm the one in charge of this assignment. Oh, why haven't I delivered the letter yet? Well, it's not because I was scared of that burly, bearded gentleman over there. That's for certain. I just wanted to give you the chance to witness mastery in motion. Now watch me deliver this letter. All discreet like Kupo. Bugger me with a broadsword. Which one of you Snivlin sops sent your wind-up Moogle loosen? Set your wind-up Moogle loose in my establishment. Wind-up? Are you blind or just balmy? I'm a living, breathing Moogle, not some glorified child's toy. Oops. There goes my cover. How many eyes and ears to be believed? The God's honest Moogle here in the wench. A letter? I thank you, my furry little friend. But strap me to the mast of this ain't a rare pleasure indeed. I heard many a rumor about your kind, but I always reckoned you weren't too keen on letting yourselves be seen. Ahem. But of course, I simply thought that, on this momentous occasion, my first foray into your fine nation, I would take the opportunity to personally introduce myself. I'm sure that's what the Deputy Post Moogle, bless his wounded wings, would have wanted. What's that you say? One of your mates is Erden, is he? Men in my line of work tend to know a little something about everything. If there's anything you might need of me, say the word. I reckon one of me regulars just might know a thing or two about that sort of business. And it's you. It's Komori. But I guess we're on vacation, right? I'll send word if I dig anything up. And with that, I'd best get back to pouring grog before one of me customers conks here in the head with an empty flagon. See? I told you there was nothing to be afraid of. exploring new environs, forging friendships with the locals. Yes, the carrier's life is the life for me, Kupo. But what I've accomplished today will have even more far-reaching repercussions. Yes, once my fellow Moogles back in the Shroud hear of my stunning success, they'll be beating down our doors to join the post-Moogle ranks. And since you've been such a loyal observer, I'll give you the honor of reporting my deeds to Raya O. If only the Deputy Post-Moogle were here. Doubtless he would be moved to tears by my magnanimity. Saying words like this while also doing a voice, I guess it's kind of tough on my throat for some reason. By my magnanimity. Speaking of which, I really should pay him a visit. Okay, but before we go, everyone's treating me like they don't know I'm an alchemist. I may be a level 24 courier and a level 56 black mage, but why doesn't anybody know that I'm a level 86 alchemist? All of that from doing these mission allowances. Pretty much just get one level every time. Sometimes these are really cheap on the market board for only like 1,000 gil. 1,000 gil for one level. A pretty decent trade. Oh, we're not actually saying hi to the Deputy Post-Moogle. I thought that was the next step. We're going to the Sanctum of the 12. Surprised the quest actually takes us over there. A quest that isn't actually getting married. Just past the bramble patch. I visited one time before, in some episode or other. Behind all of this scary, foreboding, unwelcoming woods, a place of love and matrimony. The best church in all of Eorzea. The only other one that I can think of is that one near the graveyard, so yeah, this one has that one beat. Oh, thank you, friend. I shudder to think of what my brother might have gotten tangled up in, if it hadn't been for you, Kupo. Oh, there you are. I assumed you got gobbled up by a Gobu or something, so I went ahead and shared my success with Raya O myself. Don't get down, though. I'm sure she'd love to hear about my exceptional exploits from you too, Kupo. It's a shame that it's nighttime, because this is going to be the cutscene, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to use whatever is in this cutscene for the thumbnail. Maybe the backlighting from the giant church will make the thumbnail better than I think it would. We'll see. Welcome back. I hear that these two's first assignment was quite the success, and that you played a pivotal role in seeing that it was so. For this, I thank you. I must offer my gratitude as well. Knowing that the two younglings were in capable hands allowed me to focus my mind on the Deputy Post-Moogle's treatment, with which I have made considerable progress. At first, the mere thought of an adventurer accompanying me on my assignment annoyed me to no end, but now I say, the more the merrier, Kupo. And with the word of your success spreading throughout the Twelveswood, aspiring delivery Moogles are signing up in droves, while the ranks have burgeoned such, that we could assign 2 Moogles to each task if we so choose, and judging by recent events, that might very well be wise. Heartening tidings indeed, I dare say. Heartening tidings indeed. I dare say that the Deputy Post-Moogle may rest and recuperate for as long as he desires. Why, I might even suggest an early retirement. Retirement? Gods forbid. I'm still a Post-Moogle in my prime, Kupo. The mere thought of hanging up my letter sack for good, why, Wherever would I derive pleasure and meaning from my meager existence? I most assuredly agree, Kupo. The sheer joy of seeing satisfied faces after a job well done instilled me with newfound energy and enthusiasm. After all my superior has done for me, I could not bear to see him deprived of this most splendid sensation. Intriguing. Thus far I have concentrated my efforts on physical remedies, but perhaps lightening the post-Moogle spirits might serve to speed the recovery process. At the very least, it's an avenue worth exploring. You just may be onto something there, dear brother. So I can resume my duties once I've healed? No more talk of putting me out to pasture, Kupo? If that is your true desire, how can we deny it of you? I only ask that you take care not to overexert yourself. By the 12, to think I'd ever see a Moogle who truly lives for his work. And with all the younglings eager to follow in his footsteps, we should be able to manage without imposing on adventurers for a while. Just leave it to us. My brother and I understand the significance and satisfaction of our job more than ever. We won't let you down, Kupo. Now that's the spirit, Kupo, and it's all thanks to you, my artful assistant. But no, you have proved to be far more than just a helping hand. You have earned the respect of the young ones, and mine as well. That's all we really wanted. Well, an equal rank is what we really wanted, but respect is pretty much an equal rank. Komori Moriko, by the powers vested in me as a deputy post-Moogle, I hereby name you a full-fledged letter carrier. The honor is typically reserved for Moogles, but I am happy to make an exception in your case, Kupo. Okay, we don't need the respect. This is what we wanted. While I would love to give you your next assignment, the young ones are in more immediate need of training. But don't let your skills wane, for there is no telling when we will call on you again, Kupo. I see. Interesting. So this is why people actually think there would have been more to the Moogle post-quests, because the end of them alludes to more. And actually the whole quest alluded to more by... Oh, let's see this first. In recognition of your efforts, the Deputy Post-Moogle has promoted you to the rank of full-fledged letter carrier. Though it may be some time before your next assignment, maybe even never, be ever ready to return to duty should the Moogles require your aid. But yeah, even during this quest, they were alluding to the possibility of the Deputy Post-Moogle getting a cure. I thought it might happen in that cutscene, but I guess Badarin and Buscarone getting an alchemist to cure his wings were just laying the seeds for the future. Anyway, we got this now. It matches the color. Just in case that thumbnail wasn't usable. Something like this? We'll see. It's probably going to be the Deputy Post-Moogle. I don't often, in Final Fantasy XIV, almost never actually, have to create the thumbnail myself. I can usually just grab it from a cutscene. But that has the unfortunate side effect of sometimes making the thumbnail pretty unappealing if there was nothing really usable. So does he just hang out over here, or... Damn, he's gone. I guess we can't flaunt our new rank to him. Not sure if we are necessarily a lower rank or equal rank to him, but since there are no more quests, at least no more plans for a quest that we know of, I'm just going to assume we're of equal rank. Komori is now the deputy post Lalafell whatever. It doesn't matter, we're the deputy post-Moogle. He's gone, so we're going to stand here in his place. Komori can now spy on all the mail she wants. That's all she really wanted for her vacation. Reading people's embarrassing secrets and whatnot. While she waits for someone to walk up to her with a letter to deliver, and while she subsequently waits for them to walk away, so she can illegally read that letter, now would be a good time to take a break.